I'm Dustin. This is Dallas. As y'all requested, friends wanted a YouTube channel, so here we are.
We don't know what we're doing
At all. This is awkward. So we do a little bit of everything from just day-to-day fixing and repairing stuff, mostly of what we've broken. We take in projects from other people. We pick up stuff from the junkyard and see if we can drive it home, and just your average stupidity.
Yep. And then we got all the lawnmowers. People give us lawnmowers. We soup them up, see how fast we can make them go, or see how deep of a mud hole we can make them go in.
Most of the time, we got the mini bike builds in the back. We've got 4 or 5 of those going. And most of the time, I always succeed with the lawnmower jobs is just getting really hurt and breaking them before we can actually play with them. Yeah. So I'm sure y'all get to see a lot of that between go-karts and side-by-sides and lawnmowers and 4-wheelers and
everything.
Literally, if it's got wheels, we're going to do something stupid with it, so stay tuned. So we'll just take us on a tour of just kind of what we've got laying around and what's to be seen in the future, projects that we've got going on, projects that we're going to attempt to get to at some point. So.
Yeah, we'll take requests and any input. That way we know what the heck we're doing and what y'all want to see.
What do you want to see, any constructive criticism, better camera crew and equipment, whatever. I mean, whatever we need to do to make this somewhat enjoyable for you guys, because we're going to be awkward for a little while, so enjoy.
Yes.
So this is the 53 Ford panel wagon. It's my dad's project. We've been working on it on and off for probably, he has at least 20 years. It's got a 460 big block stroker, C6 trans, narrowed 9-inch rear end. It's got way too much to mention. This is a 32 Ford Roadster. It is pretty well complete. There's not much going to be happening to it. We're going to redo the interior and the upholstery work on it this winter is the plans for it. This is the newest addition to the garage. This is the family garage, so it's not just one person's. Everybody pretty much uses it. Mini bike build we've got going on. This is supposed to be our drag bike. It's going to get wheelie bars and probably stretched and some safety features because it's already realigned my spine twice and I've only drove it once, so do the math. We'll step outside. This is a lot of the other junk we've got going on. We'll get down there in a minute. This is a Jeep Comanche. We've got to do a fuel tank, plugs, fuel pump, plug wires, pretty much everything you can mention, brakes. It's been sitting for a very long time in a pasture. They said it ran when it parked, and that's been, I'd say, 10 years or more. So it's getting a little bit of everything. That's the 7.3 dually. It's due for ball joints and brakes. That's the Hilux a lot of y'all have seen so far. It has been sitting in a junkyard for what? 3 years. And it has only been on the road probably a month in total. 2 months. Yeah. Working on it on the road probably a month.
Been working on it for about 3 months and been driving it for about a month. We drove it to Rod Run last week and the exhaust fell off. The starter quit working. It leaks oil like crazy. Antifreeze leaks like crazy. But it's still a lot of fun.
Yep. It's fun to tinker with and play with, and as you can probably tell on the ground, there's all the fluids leaking onto the ground. This is the 78 F-150 shop truck. I've had it probably 4 years now. I've rebuilt pretty much everything as far as the driveline goes and the chassis. So hopefully here in the near future, we're gonna start tearing the body apart and getting it ready to paint and actually make it into a nice truck. I say that it'll probably just stay like it is for another year or two. That is a 08 Mustang GT. That is Mom's, that's her daily driver. So we'll go down here in the mud hole to today's project. The project alone will probably be just getting it out of the mud hole that it is in. Because I wasn't smart and we was gonna work on the Jeep today, but I'm missing parts that I failed to acquire. So we're gonna work on this, but I parked it in the mud, and we're probably gonna have a hard time getting it out of the mud and up this muddy hill. So today might be a bust. We may not even work on it. This is our 65 Ford Econoline van. The goal for it is to throw a 302 in it, automatic transmission, slam it, and leave it patinaed. We'll fix up the interior, make it pretty nice, but otherwise it's a fairly straightforward build. It's gonna be the family cruiser. Next is a 79 Chevy long bed C20, belongs to a friend of ours. It'll be getting a motor and transmission and a couple other things just to get it running and driving. This is my 61 Ford Econoline van. I've had it going on 11 years. It has been restored once and is ready to be restored again. Yes. It needs some better body work done. So we'll be getting stripped back down. Body work, new paint, interior will finally get finished. Hopefully put a 306 cylinder in here. I'd like to turbo it, but we'll just see where we get. And the rat rod has turned into storage, apparently. This is my 46 Chevy rat rod. A lot of people know this one. I take it to pretty much every car show I can think of. It's the poster for our Ridgetop car show. It is a 46 Chevy pickup truck with a 51 bed and pretty much pieces from every Chevy scattered up to 80 model. It's got a little bit of everything in it. 355 small block, TH350 trans, everything's been built. It's a fun ride. I just need to get it out and drive it more. There's actually nothing needs to be done to this other than drive it.
That's a first.
That's a first, yeah. This is the only vehicle here that I could actually fire up and drive. Actually, no, I take that back. It needs a motor mount. Because it's currently held in by a motorcycle ratchet strap.
That's okay.
Other than that, I've been running on that ratchet strap for about 2 years now. Over here is the newest project. Is a 85 Dodge D150, two-wheel drive, 318 with the automatic. We have lowered the front end probably 5 inches or so. We're about to lower the rear end to match. We have this sat in the junkyard down the road from the house, and we stared at it for a few months till we finally decided that we needed to have it. So we threw plug wires and plugs in it, a fuel pump, and limped it home, and now it has become somewhat of a daily driver. Dallas has robbed my door panels from it, so I'm gonna have to get new door panels. Dallas. And it's developed a new oil leak, like a pretty aggressive one, so at some point we'll have to look at that. That is pretty much everything that we've got up here.
There's lots more.
There's a lots more toys and junk scattered out between his house, my house, his shop,
Dad's house.
his dad's house, my junkyard, which is over there on that hill, and we've got a tow truck at the bottom of the driveway. We'll show you that at some point. It's got a lot of, it's a very good truck, but it's got a lot of stuff that needs done, and we still work it and abuse it. So I'm sure there'll be a whole episode on its breakdowns. I got an 88 F-150 at the house that needs a distributor and plug wires and this, that, and the other. So at some point we'll take yins and show yins the junkyard and all the mower builds and Dallas's junkyard, and we'll just kind of go from there. So that is the tour of what we've got going on. So this is the lowering kit for the Dodge. That is the shackles to flip it over on the axle. This is an axle flip lowering kit, by the way, if you're curious.
We already did the front control on the Dodge van.
Yeah, we'll explain all that when we get it in here.
Just got a bigger pocket for the spring.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow.
This should take all of 5 minutes.
To lose every bit of it.
Good job.
Yes, like he was saying, the front lowering kit is literally just lower control arms out of the van. It's got a deeper pocket. And to lower the rear end is going to be
All that crap.
all this crap. So what we're doing is taking the axle that sits underneath the leaf springs and doing the leaf springs and setting it on top of the leaf springs. And bolting it down with all this new pretty hardware, and then we're just gonna use all the ugly old stock parts to put back on too.
What is this for?
That'll be the new shock holder thingy that goes in.
Oh, I see.
So we can put our stock wore out shocks back on it.
Good thinking.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't buy new shocks like we did for the front.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go get the Dodge.
That's how bad.
Apparently we gotta take the battery out of the 78, put it back in the Dodge, because this kid only owns like one battery for every vehicle he owns.
I have 13 vehicles and 3 batteries.
Makes lots of sense.
2 of them are in the dually. So, as you can see, I have quality battery terminals.
Yes.
None of which is ever tightened down because you don't need that.
They come out very regularly.
It's got a pretty motor in it. Well, it used to be a pretty motor. Valve cover leak in the back is...
It's been rebuilt like 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take the battery.
302s can't die. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So, there's a leaky 318 and all of its glory.
Look at all that coolant.
Don't look at the coolant. It's there for rust.
It cools better when it's on top of the motor rather than inside of it.
It's for rust prevention. Can't you tell? So, that just sits in there all loosey-goosey like.
You're putting a Ford battery in
Yeah,
Dodge.
the terminal is no longer working right, so I gotta flip it upside down so it'll get a good little bind on it. That you just
It's tightened all the way down, and
it is tightened all the way down. You just kind of gotta find a happy place. Oh god, that just broke. Like broke.
Maybe it'll stay long enough,
Well, I'll need a new one of those.
like you didn't before. Anyway, just drive it up the hill now.
We gotta drive through. It'll get there eventually. That sounded good.
That was a good attempt. And it's an automatic.
Hollywood magic. Dallas is gonna give her a rip.
Now that the sun come out, we're not in a mud hole anymore. Dustin's washing this thing off so it'll get mud all over us in the shop. We'll get her washed up real good and drive her down the road and dry it and sling some more of the mud off. And then we'll be lowering it. Oh my God.
Yeah, let me just clean you out a spot here. That's mine. Don't ask.
Oh, glasses.
Yeah, don't ruin my Bearcats.
Ready, Rob?
Yeah.
We're just mud on this thing.
It's automatic that you gotta shift like a manual. Because the transmission's going bye-bye. We're not gonna talk about that. So for this to be a junkyard truck, it's honestly pretty solid and a very good driving truck if I can keep it in between the lines.
I don't know how fast we're going, but
yeah, I don't know how fast I'm going, but I know my RPM, and that's what matters. Because it's an automatic for whatever reason. So the goal of this truck is honestly a 440 big block and a manual transmission. That felt weird. Oh, the hood's raising up. We didn't shut that.
oops.
So we'll get down here and we'll rip this thing around and go back shop, because it should be dry by now. I mean, it's not like we're driving on wet roads.
Can we go shut your hood?
Nah, piss on it.
Okay. This thing do a burnout?
I don't know. Find out.
That was cute.
There's somebody behind us.
Awesome.
Yep. So I'm gonna bring y'all a little closer. Change what we're doing. So we gotta pop the shocks off of it. Wow, that's a lot easier than I thought it would.
What size you got?
Whatever size is on that.
Oh, that makes sense.
So our goal is to remove as little as possible, because I don't want to, I'm lazy and I don't want to do a whole lot of work.
The more you take apart, the more you usually have to replace.
Yeah, what he said. So we're going to pop the shocks off. We're going to undo the spring hangers back here in the back. Allow the axle springs to drop down. We'll pull the axle out and then slide it back over top of them and put it back into its new happy home. The exhaust is just chilling out inside the muffler there.
Hey.
Dallas has been Mr. Muscle Man.
Are you gonna continue to use this exhaust, or do you want this pipe just gone?
I mean, I don't know.
I would just remove the pipe and call it good.
Okay, fine.
Maybe weld you down pipe or something.
Dang. That was a knife.
Remove the pipe.
So, progress is the leaf springs in the back at the shackles are unhooked. The Dallas is pitching a fit. The e-brake cable is unhooked. There is no U-bolts on the axle. We gotta undo a brake line.
Yep, somewhere.
And a drive shaft.
No, you don't need to undo it.
We don't need to undo the drive shaft?
No, just slide out of the transmission.
half of me was like, yeah, okay, that'll work. The slip yoke. And then I was like,
Wait a minute. We're behind the carrier bearing.
yeah, so
But you could undo the carrier bearing and
just
slide it out.
shut up, Dallas. So we gotta undo the drive shaft. We're gonna go yank this drive shaft out of here now. Get that to where y'all can use it. Nope. Oh gosh, see these little chode wrenches? I ain't got enough leverage. Help if I wasn't tightening.
Awesome. Okay. Oh no.
Don't tell me the U-joint shot, because we're not going to replace that either.
No, but it needs some grease.
Oh, that's fine. We'll PV blast it and call it done. Cool. Now you should be able to manhandle that a little bit more. There we go. A little bit, Mom. That's cool. Pry back up on it a little bit so I get the rear through. Oh, where's that hammer? Cool, found the hammer. There's that for the most part.
We can get it leveled up.
Yeah. Cool. Alright. God dang.
Wait a second.
Cool. There is a little bit of pinion play there, but
As long as your drive shaft mounts up, it's fine. Let's get the drive shaft mounted.
okay. So unfortunately, I think this is going to lower it too much because we have modified shackles in the back. So we will just.
You're gonna be lower the back than lower the front.
So we're going to Carolina squat this thing. Cool. That means I'll fit in at Rod Run. Always wanted to fit in at Rod Run. Look, Dad, I'm finally cool. But if in fact this does lower it too much, it'll be just as simple as undoing the rear shackle and putting a stock shackle back on it. That's all it'll be. Good help. That don't feel good. I hate these flying lug nuts.
Yep.
You gotta make sure you hold your mouth right when you're doing them.
What a pain.
Have you noticed that like the inside tread of this is perfectly smooth? So apparently the only thing I've been doing burnouts with is this middle rung of tread.
Yeah.
It's cool. Cool. Yeah, this truck's gonna be dirt nasty low. It's gonna be squatted. So what that means is we're either gonna have to lower the front end or put a big block in it.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. Just take the coil springs completely out. Don't need them. If you go look at the coil springs right now, they're probably loose enough to take out. I'll just not be able to get the lift out from under it. Something did up front. That seems off to me.
So this is what we did. Of course, originally the axle would be under the springs, and basically the kit comes with a setup that has a cup that goes under the axle for your perch, and it locks into the original perch, and then the U-bolts just go down to this plate, and of course it's got the mount for your shocks and everything. It's like stupid simple.
The front end is the same year as the truck, which is an 85 van lower control arm. So this is a D150. The van, I believe, is like a B150.
Yeah. Now all it does is the original ones that come on this truck have a flat plate on top where the spring goes on. The van has a cup, so it drops your spring into the lower control arm about an inch, and of course lowers the truck that much. When the truck's jacked up and with no shock in there, the spring is so loose you could just about pull it out by hand.
So that being said, our springs are very relaxed.
Yeah, they're very wore.
That cup is probably about a 2-inch drop is all you're supposed to get out of this.
We feel like we got
older
more than that.
springs were probably about a 4-inch drop altogether. The rear end is also, I mean, not only does it have the axle flip, somebody at some point had modified the shackles to level the truck out. Because factory, it has a rake so you can haul stuff. So somebody leveled it out. So that being said, that has made the rear end a lot lower. Without that, with the stock shackle, it would level this thing out. But now, seeing how low the back is, I want to get the front that low. And on the front, the lower control arms is basically just a bolt-in kit.
Yeah, other than you have to drill the holes out for these bolts because they're bigger bolts.
Holes there, and then on the strut rod, you have to drill new holes for the strut rod
because there's not holes there for it.
The front kit, I paid $80. I paid $40 the lower control arm, and it come with the ball joints. So $80 to lower the front and $200 to lower the rear. So that's all I've got into this lowering kit. That's as cheap as you could possibly get.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah, so next move would be to do the Cope Speed Shop logo on the door. Throw the door panels on it when we acquire them. I've got aftermarket headlights in it that we got at Rod Run. One of the rings does not work. So there's a local company called Sparksmith. I'm going to talk to them at the Ridgetop show about getting that fixed so I can have them. That way I can make the headlights match the truck and do all kinds of other things. Like I said, big picture, we want to put a 4-speed in it with a 440 big block. But for now, we're just going to enjoy what life is left in this 318. That pretty much wraps it up on this. We're going to clean up the shop and call her a day.
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, do that. Like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff and things. And follow Ridgetop NC on Facebook and Cope Speed Shop on Facebook.